to today's live stream, and if this works, I'll do it on a more regular basis. Now, of course, I do appreciate that people had very little warning of this happening, and indeed that not being used to it at a certain time, so I'm not expecting a huge amount of people to actually turn up today. And that's the first thing. But the second thing I need to point out is that the internet might be so good. I am using my telephone connected to the computer for the internet, and so I've got out of the period of the month when I have the full whack, the full whatever it is speed, and so now I'm on the slower speed, and so that's if there's something goes wrong, you'll understand why. So what I'd like to encourage you to do is, if you've got any questions about van life and things like that, then what I'll try and do is I'll try and answer it on live. And so I'd like to thanks to Romania here from Transylvania for being the very first person to actually come on to this live stream. And a friend of mine, it's his birthday today in Romania, and I don't know if the same person, if that's Marianne, using a different name, but it's his birthday. And Ellen, thanks very much. And from Ethiopia. So that is a that's very that really is very unusual. Now that must be a very attractive country to visit in Eastern Africa, mountains and from deserts, mountains, very highly populated now, but it seems to me to be one of the places I would want to go to. I went to a press conference for Ethiopia, the CMT trade fair in Stuttgart 3 years ago, and indeed I should have been in Stuttgart right now, but the problem is that COVID has got in the way. So I have I'm now in a situation, so I'm sort of stuck, if you like. The plan was to go to Italy, to Sicily, and if in Sicily, it's really, I don't know temperatures at right this very moment, but it's quite wonderful. Not only that, because Etna's been erupting, and I've got this big interest in volcanoes as well. So I'd like to see that again, of course, because I even got video of it erupting from 2013. Anyway, somebody said to me about it's all right for me admiring the eruptions, but I don't have to clean up the mess afterwards, because of course it leaves a lot of mess in its wake. So, well, thank you very much for the people saying thanks, you're awesome, that's very nice, thank you. And also hello to Peter in Southport, and actually Ellen is quite close to you, and Antigos de Ilha de Florida, bom tarde Alan, so from Brazil, thank you. And hello to Alan, and I don't know what Alan is, but the same name as me. Now, one of the difficulties, of course, being in a van is doing this sort of thing in winters, which I really wanted to talk about now. And I've noticed that there's other people who do these van life channels, and usually it's sort of people like me, sort of single males, who really want to sort of push themselves to the limit and sort of try and live in the Arctic or Antarctic or something like that in the middle of the winter. And whereas I am interested in sort of trying things like that out, I wouldn't really go out of my way to make things difficult. There was a conversation I had on one of the chats about going to Antarctic, and I said there's no way I'd want it to even see the place. But on the other hand, I was supposed to be in Moscow. I was supposed to be going there. That was part of the plan. I'm back by now because I've been up to Germany. But I thought going to Russia in winter, and I thought that seemed to me to be the sort of thing that sort of appealed to my sense of adventure. And indeed, that's where I should have been back from by now. So that didn't come off. But I did see friends there. They went off themselves to Siberia or something in the motorhome. So it shows it can be done. The original thing was I was supposed to be traveling around. I thought I was going to be traveling around Russia in a Heimer, and I was quite pleased at that idea. Then I found out it was going to be in Adria. Oh, well, that's really making life difficult for me. So anyway, so thanks to other people, just Albert from Richmond, Virginia, and Lee, who is on the planet Earth. That's great to know somebody's there. So for me, I don't really like being particularly cold. So the first thing is obviously you want to wear as much clothing as possible. If you're sort of sitting in your own home with your winter clothing on, that is somewhat unpleasant to say the least. But I have taken delivery of a diesel heater, so it isn't installed yet, but it will be as soon as I can sort of get the opportunity to do it. I'll install it for the summer, but it will be the summer by the time I actually install it, probably. And anyway, I'll have the benefit of it next year. It's a 5 kilowatt heater, and normally with say for something of this size, that's like 7 by 2 by 2, 7 meters by 2 meters by 2 meters, approximately. So that's 28 cubic meters, approximately. That you'd expect about 3 kilowatts, I think, for that. But in fact, even when it was really cold, I was using about 2.8 to actually heat it. One thing about the diesel heater is it gives it a different type of heat. I don't know if this is really that easy to understand, but I personally think that the heat from gas heating seems to me to be a little bit wet. I mean, wet. It's not like going out in Florida, for example, but I feel that. Whereas with the electric heat, for example, I feel it's sort of dry, and diesel somewhere between the two. Anyway, maybe it's psychosomatic or something like that. The advantage of a diesel heater, of course, is if you've got a small van, then you can. It doesn't take up much space. And not only that, the fuel is already in the petrol tank, or sorry, the diesel tank, I should say, and so therefore you don't need the big gas bottle for it. Obviously, you do have to fill the diesel tank from time to time. They do have a system that stops you taking the last drops out, so you wouldn't sort of start your engine and find out you can't move, so you can't actually drain the tank. And but that might be on some people's minds as far as the diesel is concerned. So for me, so next year, I've no idea where I'll be. In fact, for this year, I haven't even planned anything at all. And right, so one question here: what do you do during the day to pass the time? Now, I'm never bored. In fact, on the contrary, I always find I've got too much stuff to do. And to give an idea, today, for example, I tried devoting myself to doing videos. I try and do this every weekend, and it usually ends up that I'm not doing anything, or I don't do much. Now, today I managed to stick out another. I did a video which will probably publish tomorrow, just a 1-minute video. I also do a lot of historical stuff, so I've got sort of research. I sort of sometimes I put that sort of stuff together as well. To do a 10-minute video or something like that, it'll take at least a day to put it together. And it's not just the putting together, but it's also the research which actually goes into it. Whereas most of the stuff, for example, do with motorhomes and all the rest of that, and do that just sitting in front of the computer. Historical stuff, I can't, because I need access to archives, and archives aren't on most of them, sorry, not most of them, but a lot of them aren't. I don't have digital resources for that. So when I actually go somewhere, which is then I tend to actually do a lot of that. I tend to know people in lots of places, so I do go out. I mean, I am quite insistent on doing an average of 10,000 steps a day, so that's 8 kilometers a day. By the end, so at the end of the month, it's the daily scores over 10,000, and so I'll go out walking to get that. 8 kilometers is roughly what, an hour, 40 minutes, 2 hours, something like that. So I'll go out and do that, and I do a lot of tourism as well. Though I'm a constant tourist, even in times like this, when I'm not going to go on the bicycle because of the weather, but I will walk, and so I always find things which interest me. So that's that I think is quite good. I have these plans about doing more on other channels as well in other languages, but I realise they're not really going to develop very far. I mean, so I've put up, when I have things in German and Polish and in Italian, I'll put them on the appropriate channel, but there won't be all that much. I'll never be able to do as much as I'd hoped for on that, and I really do want to sort of develop my history channel as well, as much as possible. So thanks to Col from Oslo for the winter videos. Of course, people in places like Oslo would know far more about it, I suspect, than I do. Now, when I was a child, I was where I was living was quite in the north of England, and it was it was pretty cold. I mean, you shoveling snow for a large part of the day, and so I remember how cold it was at home, and sort of the gas free, you could free, you know, the water. It wasn't exactly, well, it was frozen because there was not that much of condensation on the windows and this type of thing. And so I think I want a bit more luxury in life. And so right. So Ellen asks about the water electric, and is the lockdown like in the UK? Right, as far as the water's concerned, I've got a tap which is 2 meters behind where I am right now, and I've got electricity where I am right now as well. So this place belongs to friends of mine. In fact, it's the factory where they produce motorhomes, Affinity Motorhome. So I'm there. So I'm quite happy to be also in the security here as well. And unfortunately, I don't have internet. The internet has to come off my phone. But, now, the lockdown situation, I think, here is not severe as it is in the UK. But I don't know. I mean, I tend to obey the letter and the spirit of the law. And so if this is part of the reason, I think, why I didn't actually try to go to it. I'm sure if I'd gone off to Italy, I tried to get to Sicily, nobody would have stopped me. But I don't think that was within the spirit, even though, I mean, I might have had some problems getting to Czech or Czechia. But theoretically, I wasn't allowed to go to Italy for tourist purposes. But I'm certain nobody would have stopped me. But I don't think that's within the spirit of what we're trying to do. Lockdown for other people. I mean, I do speak to people in the larger towns, and yeah, okay, it's not. I think in the UK, it is more serious. I mean, I've never heard of people getting fined here, for example, for being out, and I can't, because I mean, I wasn't in this place before lockdown, so I don't know what it's. I've got nothing to actually compare it to. So, it's in Qatar. Oh, great! That's really super. Sort of being out in there, nice and warm now. Though I've got to say, with age, as I get older, I'm not so keen on the heat as I like it in the summer when it's here, but when it gets too hot, when it gets above like 28, I don't really like it anymore. So I'm being really fussy. I like the temperature between 22, 23, 24, 25. That's it. That keeps me happy. And right, what do I do to keep secure? Well, yeah, that's a very good question. That one is. I think the question is, what do I do out of the ordinary to keep secure? The thing is, I think if anybody wants to break in, they're going to break in anyway. So this is the problem, and I think it's a matter of trying to leave the van in places where it's relatively visible. I mean, okay, I put deadlocks on the doors and this type of thing. But I suppose the criminals, if they want to get in, they're going to get in anyway. I had a situation 3 years ago where I lost my keys. Well, I didn't. I had the keys in my pocket, took the jacket off, and I sort of did this to put it around, tie it around my waist. In the meantime, the keys fell out. Realised where it happened, but in the meantime, I came back and the grass had been cut, so I got the keys were in little pieces. And Anyway, I broke into my own van, and it took me, what took me the longest was getting onto the roof. So it took me about what? So I sort of jumped up, pulled myself up. That took longer than actually getting in. So if they want to, so anyway, it is unfortunately one security. I don't really know what else I can actually say on that one. I came up with there's alarm in here as well, but I mean, does it work? I mean, would that put anybody off? I don't know. And well, thanks very much to Razel for saying like to meet me. That's very nice, and for following me. Okay, right. Well, I've sort of given you a bit of a introduction there into, and that sort of, I thought I could do is maybe I could do videos like this and sort of explain sort of something where I am. And I'll try and do it maybe at the Saturday at this time, which I think is quite a good time to actually do things. So it's now here it's 1700, so that's like 16 UK and 9 o'clock in Los Angeles and things like that. And so I spend most of my time in Poland, Germany, and Italy, so between the three countries. And I would like to think I could go somewhere else. I keep hoping to be able to go, for example, the United States again. But I mean, as things stand at the moment, it's not really until this COVID situation is over. I really don't think I'll be going there. So anyway, good. So that's my plans. What I'll do. I'd like to thank you for being here today. It's been very nice actually to do this hosting. So I'll try and make it a regular feature. At the weekends, as from now, I will put on 2 videos. So I'll try and do something like this, like it's my time 1700, and on Sunday I'll put on maybe a tourist video or something like that. I'll try and do 2 videos at the weekends, and there'll be a video every night. 21:15 my time, 20:15 in the UK. And so hello to Peter in Bergen and Norway. So quite popular in Norway. Richard asks, do any of the French cheaper camper vans I review shows come in right-hand drive? I don't know the answer to that one. The cheaper, I don't think, Rapido do them in right-hand drive. And so I think, I don't know if Lorette and Florium, which is companies owned by Rapido anyway. I don't know. Yes, they do. Sorry, they do come in right-hand drive. But I would say this: if you are in the United Kingdom and you intend to use them outside the United Kingdom, I would suggest you get left-hand drive anyway, because I think the standard of driving in the United Kingdom is actually higher than it is in most European countries, and therefore. If you really want to be safe, then get left-hand drive. That's just my opinion, anyway. And right. So thanks everybody here. Thanks to Ellen, and sorry, thanks to somebody here writing an Arabic name. I can't read it because the letters are too small. Not that I know Arabic letters. Anyway, but all the time. Oh, and thanks from the Black Forest, Germany. And yes, I should have been close to it now, shouldn't I? I should have been in Stuttgart right this very moment. So thanks very much for being here, and I will be back on again this evening at 21:15 with something related to motorhomes. Thank you to everyone. Thanks, all the best, and bye. Thanks, Elaine.